Okay, you're on.
Thank you, Diana. Good morning, everybody, and good morning, Facebook. We are here for the Institute for Spiritual Development Sunday Metaphysical Service, and I am here delivering today the homily for the service. My name is Amanda Hoover, one of the ministers here at ISD. Today, the title of the homily is called The Giving Receiving Tree. And when a homily is in the linear timeline of about to be coming in for me, it will often, you'll hear the other ministers say this too, it will often take sometimes a week or two for the energy to come through, for the messages to come through on what's supposed to be delivered divinely through the open channel. And in order to do that, the daily personality really needs to kind of shift the side a little bit, the way we see pieces in linear time to bring in that information. So the beginning of this journey for this homily for me was seeing the cover of the book of the Shel Silverstein book, The Giving Tree. And I wasn't exactly sure where this was going. If for those of you familiar with that story in the book, many of us heard it when we were children and come back to it. And there are so many different lessons and wisdom that come from that book. It can go in so many different directions. So I wasn't sure exactly where this was going. So bear with me as I pulled this through. And I immediately said, okay, I have to go to the library to get the book. And then I just put it on Google, and of course you can get it on YouTube. So I'm going to, for the reading portion of the homily today, share with you the book, The Giving Tree. And it's about 5 minutes, and that will give you the visuals just like the ones in the book as well. And there's a lot of multidimensional meaning here with this story. And we're going to really bring in the inner child even more with 2 different stories today. And I won't talk as much as we will hear from these stories. And what I was guided to is that everybody's going to get a little bit something different depending on their process, depending on the energy that needs to move for them, depending on their healing, depending on their journey. So feel into what these stories bring in for you. The second book is called The Selfish Crocodile. So today, what we're really going to do, I don't know if anybody's heard of that book before, but today what we're going to do is bring in some shamanic animal totem medicine and some crocodile medicine. And we are going to really look at the relationship of giving and receiving. And as we know in the realms of duality and with polarity, when we see things more in black and white, when we see things with both aspects of shadow and light, we will also experience giving in our consciousness in the light ways, but in the shadow ways, and receiving in the light ways and the shadow ways. So I believe this is a call today to really look at those shadow aspects of ourselves with giving and receiving so that we can have a healthy tree within our being, our tree of life, and really be able to have abundance and giving and receiving from a new divine perspective. So one of, you all know that I bring Egypt into almost everything that I do. And a lot of that is because most of the Abrahamic traditions and a lot of those metaphysics throughout the world came from the Egyptian teachings and the pre-dynastic teachings. And one of the symbols that is really beautiful that shows the cause and effect, the contraction, expansion energies, this giving, receiving energy is the symbol of the Ankh, which is often known as the breath of life. And in that symbol, we can come into a relationship with the inner reality and the outer reality, that figure 8 symbolism of giving and receiving in this beautiful harmony that is very light and flowy and natural, that does not feel shadowy or constricted, if that makes sense, but is very open and very flowy. So, in some of these other aspects of consciousness, multidimensionally, we experience this in lots of different ways. So we're going to hop on our magic carpet ride together here as Spirit takes us through this. And we are going to feel into what's coming in for each of us and feel into what's coming in, some of the collective energies. I was getting a lot of root chakra energy, and that makes sense as we start to look at some of this aspects of the giving tree you'll see with the stump. So I'm going to share these stories first, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll go from there. Everybody see that okay?
The Giving Tree
Yeah.
by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play the king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples, and play in my shade, and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money." "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I only have leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I'm sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down, sit and rest." And the boy did, and the tree was happy.
Okay, so just feel into that one as we switch to the next one. And I'm going to share screen again.
Amanda, the pictures weren't showing, but I'm not sure why it
Yeah.
wasn't advancing. Maybe not enough Wi-Fi where you are, but we heard the story and it was incredibly moving. So
Okay. All right. So, you know
I'm
what
not
I think
sure
I'll do
why.
then? Yeah. So I think I do, instead of sharing the next one, then I'll just explain it really quick. And then
Okay.
that will probably make sense. So
Okay.
the selfish crocodile is a story about a crocodile who would not allow the other animals. So there's all these other animals and they're standing on the side of the river, and you've got like a hippopotamus and a giraffe, and you know, it's very African type feel. And all the other animals are standing by the river, and the crocodile is not allowing any of the other animals to go into the river to get their sustenance, to get a drink of water, to play, to what I often say, swimming in divine love together. So this crocodile is really kind of stopping everybody from feeling their joy. And there's this brave little mouse who kind of has no fear and is just kind of going along. And of course, it's the smallest animal in the area. And the little mouse goes into the crocodile's mouth, and you can see the crocodile's teeth like open, and he's crawling through the teeth, and he goes to the very back of the mouth, and he grabs a sore, rotten tooth, and he pulls it out of the crocodile's mouth. And there you have a crocodile who is no longer in pain and suffering. And he slowly comes around after, you know, really talking to them and listening to them. And he is now healed at his inner pain, and he is now able to be more open. And the story ends by him bringing in everybody to the river and allowing everybody to come into the river. So what I was getting about this story is even not so much about really focusing on where we don't allow others into the river, but where do we not allow ourselves to receive that inner child river of divine love? Where do we stop ourselves from receiving that? And again, you know, earlier we were talking about the declaration of principles, that mirror concept of where do we not take care of ourselves and give enough to ourselves? If we're sick, are we putting it off? Are we taking care of it? Are we taking care of everybody else? So when we go back to thinking about the story of the giving tree, and this is why I switched it to the giving receiving tree, I think there's some of those old, you know, those lessons that we've always gotten from this beautiful book. The first one, you know, remembering to be grateful for what we have, wanting all this and so much more. Sometimes we get into those rhythms of, we all do, I do too. We get into those rhythms of not being grateful for what we already have. And we all have so much abundance in our lives to be grateful for already. And, you know, that other lesson of that tree's love is like God's love, right? It's that kind of maternal divine mother that wants the child to be happy, that wants all children to be happy on this planet, that wants every animal to not have to suffer, to truly be that vessel to hold and support love for everybody, and to feel that love for everybody, no matter what, unconditionally. And this book really shows the power of unconditional love. But I was being guided to take this in a completely other direction. And there's a quote, you know, before I say this, I'm going to say, as we kind of look into new earth and ascension and feeling these higher energies within our bodies, one of the things that we really have to get past is these crucifixion energies. And I feel like that stump at the end of that book, if I don't know if you guys could see the visual or not, but you can vision it in your mind. That stump at the end is a dead tree. There's nothing left of it. It gave so much of itself that it was not able to fully maintain, you know, a fruitful, healthy tree. So one of the lessons here is that depleting self to save something outside of us, kind of like that savior complex or needing to fix everything. Light workers and star seeds tend to be people who are extremely loving and want to give so much to everybody else. But it's this remembrance that when our cup is full, when our golden chalice, and the golden chalice represents the torus field flow. So just like an apple on a tree, that torus field flow of the energy is moving and an open torus field. So anybody that might do Qigong or Tai Chi and you're feeling those energies and moving them, and your field gets bigger, your energetic field, keeping that field full and flowing like a waterfall of divine love. That is what is the sacred geometry that keeps us able to fractal out, right, into the field to create a complete apple orchard. So a tree that is fully prosperous and abundant, and their cup is full, and that torus field is flowing, and that it's a wide expanded field from that open heart. That is the field for which entire fields of apple orchards are created. You can't create and share your love from a depleted tree. So that was the lesson that I was receiving through this homily, that we are at a point as a collective and as individuals and in our communities to really look past, moving past these crucifixion energies, where we have to sacrifice ourselves, where we have to forsake ourselves, because a divine being, a being holding divine love, who is actualized and who is healthy and whose energy field is clear, we know the law of attraction is going to emanate outward so much more abundance for everyone else as well. So this is really about how do we shift from depleting ourselves by taking care of so much outside of us to becoming that inner golden chalice, taking that time for ourselves, not answering phone calls at dinner if you're busy with work, taking all these pieces so that you are the full cup, like the oxygen mask on the plane, right? You are fully oxygenated, you are fully healed, your energy field is clear, so you can go throughout your day giving love, giving your fruition to the entire orchard and spreading it out that way. So as a collective, as we move past this age-old need to crucify and sacrifice ourselves, it's super important that we understand that some of these old symbols can be ascended to these higher dimensional sacred geometry symbols of this inner emanation that I speak of. And abundance is a frequency that we hold within us that emanates to all of our outer reality, creating that consciousness of fields of gold. We talked about that earlier, as the kingdom is within, and the clearing of the field. So what happens beyond the consciousness of needing to save and fix everything outside of us? What does heaven actually feel like? And where are you in your worthiness of it? Where are you in your balance of giving and receiving? Remember, we talked earlier about that infinity figure eight flow, that breath of life, that divine love flow. It's not a stump, right? And what we do in this lifetime, these energetic openings and activations and heart openings, we take that with us to wherever we go next. Matsuo Basho said, "Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise," and I'm going to add in here of the old either. Seek what they sought. So we can look in the rings of that tree of our ancestors to see where they may have not fully been in that divine love consciousness, but what they gave us, what they sacrificed for us to be at the point where we can actually say, what does the resurrection actually feel like, having gone beyond the crucifixion? So coming back to the crocodile medicine a little bit, moving on from the tree, But again, it's all connected. The totem pole, we talk about a lot of shamanic pieces here and these animal archetypes that support our ascension journey. And feeling into, where do we grasp too tightly to control, right? That crocodile that was, his teeth was hurting. So he was in his own hurting, he was trying to control everything outside of him. And the crocodile medicine for me has always been, where do you eat your inner child instead of feeding it, right? And then feeling that mirror for how the interactions play with others within your family dynamics, within your communities. And we feel this in the collective consciousness as well. Very powerful energies of eating ourselves, that inner critic. So working to really focus on, as I talked about, that golden chalice of divine love of the Taurus field, being open, feeding yourself with love, remembering and having reverence for yourself as a divine being, not as a fallen angel, for example, but the angel that you absolutely are, as we start to feel into what heaven is in this new earth consciousness. And we all know that it all starts from energy. We've all done this work. We've all done this research in our lives. That's why we resonate with each other so much, that understanding the law of attraction, taking responsibility for our happiness, is taking responsibility also for the happiness of others when we are a full cup. Keeping that healthy body. What are you putting into your body? What are you putting into your mind? That healthy spirit, and the healthy energy field. It's all vibration. And you have your own unique soul signature that you bring. You have the golden apples that is a sustenance for those around you. It's a really beautiful puzzle that we are each that beautiful piece creating. So think about today how you can take better care of yourself and fill your golden chalice. Where are you maybe having some shadow scenarios of the giving and receiving energy, and how can we feel more into the light aspects of that figure 8 flow of the breath of life from the inner reality to the outer reality. So that's this more natural self-caring flow that cares for everyone else. So with that said, a lot of this is a blueprint within for our inner relationship, and to feel that out, and that reflects out to our outer relationships. And to Joanne talked earlier about the beloved, to feel and know the beloved within, so you can feel and know the beloved without. For a divine love, balanced tree of life, open heart, abundant, sacred, geometric flow of high heart restoration, of restoring the heart. Thank you, everybody. And I hope that you are able to feel into today how you can give yourself that beautiful golden waterfall fountain, that river, and not keep yourself from the river. And that song just came in, Run to the Water, and I'll find you there from Live. If anybody knows that song, you can play it later. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Amanda, for the beautiful homily. We'll say goodbye to Facebook now. Reminder, we would love to have you come join us at lots of classes and events. You'll find at ISD Oneonta.org. Goodbye for now. We'll see you next time.